Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Bill Sunday. In this third episode, we are gonna talk about a little bit different topic. In our past sessions, we have talked about how we can build applications, and we have built till now so far two applications. One is OpenAI Smart Chatbot, like AI API based smart chatbot, and the second one is we have built a simple RAG application. Now recently, I have been getting requests that Jabir, you have been teaching us in Build Sunday that how we can build applications, what are the EI applications, IDEs, right, vibe coding tools that we can use. And on Wednesdays, we have been talking about the theoretical concepts, the mathematical foundation of AI. But first of all, tell me in the current market how we can get jobs. What are the strategies, or what are the things, or what is the exact roadmap that we can follow to get a job in the current market? This is the request I have been getting in my comments. This is the request I have been getting personally in my DMs as well. So I want to address that as well, right? So let's start this session. This is going to be a very teeny tiny session. I'll share my PPT. I'll tell you exact step by step things that you have to follow, which I have followed. Before that, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Let me introduce myself, right? So I'm Jabir Hussain. I'm a AI engineer and a researcher. I work full time as a AI engineer in a taxation firm, and at the same time, I do a lot of research in healthcare and everything. So talking about my journey, I won't take much of time because the roadmap is important, not my journey. But let me tell you this. It will hardly take 1 or 2 minutes. That I started my journey. I started my BTech in a Type 2 college, right? And from the very beginning, I have been always interested in sciences. I have been always interested in learning new technologies and all that. So in first year, I started learning coding, right? I started programming, participating in a lot of coding competitions. Like Google used to conduct hackathon. Now they're not conducting it. Something called as Google Kickoff, right? So they do that, right? Google kickoff, kickstart, yeah. I participated in that. I participated in IBM's Imaginary Cup, right? Microsoft Imaginary Cup. So they are a lot of hackathons that this organizations used to connect. And in first year, I was so passionate, I was so interested as a newbie, so I started participating in all these hundreds of hackathons, right? And in second year, I started learning web technologies. I started learning mobile development and all, right? And I always, like, there's a bug in me, there's a small intuition in me that I want to teach whatever the things I'm going through. I want to put this camera and talk to you guys because this is my passion, because I want to speak and teach you guys that whatever the stuff I'm learning. So in second year, I have collaborated with Andhra Pradesh government, and through this collaboration, we have collaborated with 3 4 schools, and we have taught Java, Python, basic programming to high school students. And I thought that why don't I put this content on YouTube? Like that, we have started Imaginary Hub. And by third year, I was working in different products. I was working in healthcare. I was a part of startup ecosystem in Hyderabad, and luckily, thanks to God, I got a full-time offer in 3 2. And from third year, I started working as a full-time AI engineer, and till now I have built various applications, right? I actively work in healthcare. I'll share my PPT and tell you exactly what are the things that I work, right? So I actively work in healthcare, tax firm, right? All this different categories of things. Like these are very broadly broad categories, broad sectors in them, and I consider myself lucky that I work in all these things at the moment, right? So I'll tell you the exact roadmaps. Let us start the video. So this is a little bit introduction about myself, and uh, I have created a curated PPT, and I believe this PPT is gonna be a lot, like it's gonna be a lot helpful to you guys, right? I'll give the link of the PPT in the description. You can read it out by yourself and follow the steps, right? And let me tell you this as well before I even share the PPT, that if you follow the things which I'm telling, I can guarantee you that within the span of few months, you'll be an excellent, right, engineer in tech field at least. And after following the roadmap, I believe that any person who has rigorously followed these steps, he will become a AI engineer within a span of few months, and he'll get a job after learning the skills very easily in the current job market. So let me share this. Let me share my PPT now. Enough talking. Okay. I hope you guys can see my screen. Yeah, you can see my screen. Okay. So this is a complete roadmap to becoming a AI engineer, and I have talked about like what are the things that we'll be talking about and all this. And let me tell you this, that in the channel, in Imaginary Hub channel, we are running two modules, right? One is Build Sunday. In Build Sunday, the main goal is to take idea, use the existing AI applications, like it can be using IDEs or web coding tools or anything, right? We are taking one idea and using the help of AI, we are building it, right? Like you might say that Java, like at the end you're just giving prompt. No, it is wrong, right? I'm not giving prompt. We The main goal of Build Sunday is to understand the architecture. It's to understand how the things are working in the behind the scenes, right? So that is the goal. Like in Build Sunday, we are building projects, and let me tell you this: if you include the projects that we are building in YouTube for free, right, we are putting this every content on free, and if you take this code base, put it in your like resume, then I can guarantee you guys that your resume will stand out, right? And to have in detail knowledge, to have like in-depth knowledge of mathematical concepts of AI, I'm also taking and speaking about in detail concepts, depth concepts on Wednesdays. So it's a combination of both, right? When I speak about the jobs in AI, jobs in AI can be broken down into two parts. One is AI engineer. AI engineer is someone who works on top of the existing models, right? Let's say there is a model, AI model, and using that I'm building maps. That person is known as a AI engineer, and this roadmap is a AI engineer roadmap. And the second segment of AI, where you can like seek jobs or find jobs, is that AI engineer. Yeah, sorry, AI researcher, right? AI researcher are the people who works on building this frontier models, who works on building this AI models from scratch. And it's a very long journey. We're not gonna talk about it for now. But if you guys are interested on how someone can become a AI engineer, I'll make the video for that as well. But I hope you have understood that there are two job prospects. There are two markets, main markets when it comes to AI. One is AI engineer, another is AI researcher. Okay, got it. Now let's talk about the current market, right? So right now, if I talk about the market that we live in, specifically Indian market, Indian tech market is no longer just about software. It's about intelligence, right? We are like, as a employer, like who is giving jobs, we are expected, like these companies are expecting that you should know problem solving, you should know web technology, you should know how AI platform works. So there are a lot of, like you can say, expectations that we are holding right now from a fresher. And somewhere deep down, like people are not like connected with the actual AI world, right? They might see that Claude might have released a new model, but they don't know how exactly that works, right? And how we can build products, right? So I'll be talking about it. But yeah, this is the thing, like the job market is changing, and the skill gap, there is a like a lot of skill gap that is there. Like people don't know how RAG works, what are the different types of RAGs we have, right? So when it comes to AI engineering, there are a lot of terminologies that we need to know, right? That is not just prompt. There are thousands of terminologies, thousands of concepts that we need to learn. So the second thing is skill gap. And the categories, right? The traditional jobs are changing, right? I'm going a little bit off topic, that now that, like you might have seen, there's a new tool, there's a new AI model which is released by Anthropic called as Fable and Mythos, right? These two are the world's most powerful foundational large language models that we have. And I want you to do research. I'm not going to talk about it. Maybe I'll make a like, separate video of what are these exact models. But these models are so powerful that they can detect bugs in legacy codes. And all banking systems, all financial institutions are built on this legacy code. So you can imagine that AI is evolving a lot and we need to cope up with it, right? So let me start with, I have talked like how I started, like foundation, teaching journey, startup ecosystem and all that. Let me tell you exactly like where I work and what I work, right? So I work as a like full-time AI engineer. This is my full-time job at a taxation firm, and this firm works with top four companies like KPMG, Deloitte, IBM. Like this, the firm which I'm working in, it is mainly based in US market, and they collaborate with a lot of vendors in US, and they do the compliance and tax stuff for these organizations. And secondly, uh, in third year, I have pitched a product to ISB and T Hub, and luckily I got mentors from ISB. So I actively work in healthcare in AI as well. And at the same time, I'm a part of startup ecosystem in Hyderabad, T Hub. Right. At the same time, I do teaching online as well, and I run a agency for venture capitalist people. Sorry, venture capitalist people as well. Okay. Now, let's talk about the like roadmap, exact roadmap that you guys have to follow if you want to become a AI engineer. Okay. So there are 6 steps which I suggest that these are must. You have to follow at any cost, right? If you skip any of this, then uh, it will become hard for you guys, because these are like foundations. These are like you need to have to become AI engineer at the current market, right? So let us start. The first and foremost thing I would say is problem solving. Like if you are in first year, this video is for students who are in first year and second years, right? So if you are in first year, who a person who is starting his career, who don't know anything about programming, I would suggest that follow the 6 steps. You'll get a job easily, right? If you are in final year, who have like hardly 3-4 months, then start with step 3 or step 2 and learn the stuff. I'm telling you that you'll get a job within few months if you practice and put your all focus in the 6 steps. Okay, let's start with step 1. What is step 1? I would suggest that pick a language. If you don't know anything about tech, I would suggest pick a language. That language can be Python. That language can be Java. Anything, right? Pick one language and then uh, master that language. Learn what is the syntax of that language. How does that language work? Right? A to Z. Each and every nook and corner of that language. Learn about that. After that, I would suggest start doing problem solving, right? And some I have seen a lot of youngsters telling me that like Jabir, they are let me stop my screen. They are hundreds of like AI applications, large language models, right, which can solve this problems more efficiently than me, than any human in the world, right? If you take a lead code problem, this platforms can solve this problems more efficiently with like less time complexity and space complexity than any other developer, any other student. Then why would we need problem solving in the first place? Why would I have to go on lead code and solve it? Well, let me tell you this, that yes, this AI platforms can solve the problems more efficiently with less time complexity and space complexity than you, right? Than me, than any other person, right? But the problem you need to understand is that you are solving this lead code problems not to beat AI, to understand AI. That is the thing I would say, right? Let me tell you this, we are engineers, we are researchers, we are the people who solve complex problems, right? We are built to solve complex problems. And when you go and do like when you go and solve lead code problems, this gives you a mindset, right? It's not about you're solving problem efficiently, you're not solving problem efficiently. It's not about efficiency at all. It's about the mindset that you build when you go and solve lead code, when you go and sit and think about like that problem for 1 hour. You know what I used to do when I'm in school? Uh, I was attending classes. Like I used to sit in last bench, right, with my friends, and I used to solve problems, right? That was our thing, right? We used to play games and solve problems. That's it. So I would suggest you guys that go ahead daily, sit for 1 hour, 2 hours, right? I don't think like as a student it will take much of your time. So you will have plenty of time as a student, to be honest. So go ahead, sit, and solve one problem at a time. And when you do that, believe me when I say that, you will find the change in you. You will find that in your thinking process, you're able to solve, you're able to think, you're able to break down a given problem and think different solutions for it. Like, okay, this is the problem, and how we can find, okay, this path one can be one of the solutions, this part two can be another path, like that. I would say that your thinking process towards a problem, your actual weaving ability, right, will change, will improve. So I would say that daily sit for 1 hour and solve problem, like one or two problems daily. Right, that is the one thing, and I want you guys to solve at least 200 to 300 problems, because this will create a solid foundation. Okay, now moving forward, we have mastered a language. We did around 200 to 300 problems. What is the next step? Well, let me tell you this. As a AI engineer, you'll not only work with only with LLMs, right? You are going to work on websites, because at the end you are going to integrate that whatever the AI stuff you build into the website or into an app. So it is really important to have understanding about what are this tech stacks, what is this technology, and I would suggest that at least learn one technology. That technology can be about app development, that technology can be related to about web development, right? And if you are a beginner, if you are a newbie who don't know anything about tech, then I would suggest learn tech web development, because it is easy, user friendly, and you don't need like big computer to begin with, right? You don't need all that. You just need one simple computer and your passion, your interest, right? If you have that, I think you'll find thousands of lectures on YouTube, right, which are better than mine. Okay, I hope you got the point. Learn Munstack. And let me tell you this, like, people say that app development is different, web development is different, right? Like blockchain is different. Well, the core concept, the core thing is that if you know one technology, believe me when I say that, if you know like MERN, right, MongoDB, Express, React, Node.js, then I can guarantee you that you will be a master in .NET. You will be a master in Python related applications. So everything is like the concept is same, but the programming language might differ, right? Once you have understanding of the core technology, then you can shift to any other language, right? Because the concepts are different. The only thing which is changing is the writing the application. I hope you got the point. So when you learn web development, you will associate the knowledge which you have in web development to all the other fields. That is step 2. Step 3 is, now we are entering into the actual AI engineering part. The step 1 and step 2 is common for every other like engineering student. If you are a computer science student, you have to know step 1 and 2. It is mandatory, right? Moving forward, step 3 is mathematics for machine learning, right? This is what we do in Wednesday, right? We sit and we learn maths related to machine learning. Yeah. Okay. So if I have to break down what exact math you need to learn, there are three modules that you guys have to focus on and learn, right? At least have a mastery, at least know what are these, right? When you heard this terminologies, you should know that what is the meaning of that term, right? For example, in linear algebra, if you heard what is, like eigenvectors or inverses, what is the actual meaning of inverse, right? You should know like the exact concepts of that. And in mathematical foundations, there are three modules that you guys have to master. First one is linear algebra, right? Linear algebra is the most important concept, and based on linear algebra only, all these models like take GPT-1, GPT-2, Claude, DeepSeek are built upon. So it is like these three are the foundations for AI, right? Second one is calculus, and the third one is probability, right? So these are the three modules that you have to master, right? After mastering this, step 4 is, we will start off with our machine learning now. In machine learning, what we do is that, okay, if I have to break down machine learning can be broken down into three steps. One is supervised learning, right? Where we have our target, we have our data, right? And based on the data, we try to hit the target and we build graph. That is what we do in logical regression. That is what we do in linear regression, right? All this regression stuff, we do the same thing, right? After that, unsupervised learning. Okay, in unsupervised learning, we'll not have a target, but we have the data. I'll be making a complete course on this, hopefully, fingers crossed. So in unsupervised learning, we talk about that. And the algorithms which we have is k-means, k-clusters algorithm, right? These are the different algorithms that we will be focusing on. Okay, and again, like you need to focus on the core algorithms as well. Like as I told you, that decision trees, random forest, SVMs, regressions, right? All these things. And there is a third module in machine learning, which is there, which is relatively new. The module name is reinforcement learning. Well, I don't suggest you that, because if you want to become a AI researcher, then maybe you need to learn that. But for AI engineer, I don't think you need to learn reinforcement learning, honestly. Okay, so learn these things, right? Become like a master in machine learning algorithms and build one or two algorithms. Like take a real world application. For example, let's say I have given you a problem of breast cancer, right? I have given you the data of breast cancer, and I told you that based on the data, if I give you a sample case, your module, your algorithm should tell that whether the person has breast cancer or not. That is a real world application. That is a real world problem. So I want you guys to build applications using the algorithms which you have learned, right? That is step 4. And moving forward, step 5 is learning NLP, learning about what is neural networks, how like neural networks work, what is the meaning of tokenization, what is the meaning of back propagation. That is module 1, right? Learning the history of neural network, how we can build neural network in Python and all that. After that, here comes the hero of our show, which is transformers. So once you have enough understanding of neural networks, I would say learn about transformers. Transformers is the heart of AI, right? All the models that we use today are built on the transform architecture. So learn about transform architecture, learn what is like a natural language processing. And I would say that in this step, once you complete this 3 step, like neural network, transformer, natural language processing, you will understand how to build a model, right? How actual large language model works. And then the task I would give you at this stage is that now you know how model works, now you know how you can build a model. So take one base model. That base model can be a GPT-2 model or any llama open source model, and try fine tuning that. Okay, so that is step 4. Like fine tuning is basically from the first step 1, step 2, step 3, which is neural network, transformer, and neural like NLP. You will learn how this large language model works and how you can build that. And in step 4, you will take a base model and you fine tune it. You make the internal behavior, you change the internal behavior in such a way that you will understand how this works practically as well. So this is the step 5. Now step 6 is, okay, this is by far the most important step, and most AI engineers forget this step. That, let me tell you this, that when I speak about companies, right, take any healthcare companies, taxation, fintech, legal tech, or any deep tech company, right? They follow some rules and regulations, right? For example, one of the architectures that we follow in our organization is clean architecture. I would say that learn the architecture and why we follow that. What is the reason we follow that? So this is the thing, right? And also have understanding on designing the data and layers, right? When I speak about RAG, you should know exactly what is a vector database, how we build context. So this is known as engineering knowledge, right? And you should know like why we use this stack for this problem statement, why we use this particular stack for another problem statement. For example, let's say I'm using Python tech stack for X. You should know exactly the reason why X and Python are the perfect match. Why not JavaScript? So I would suggest that even though the AI is doing the core work, but understanding the code, understanding why this thing is good, this thing is efficient, is your task. So having a proper understanding of which is efficient, which is not, is still in human hands, is still in AI engineering hands. So these are the three steps I would suggest. And let me tell you this, that if you follow the three things, then I can guarantee you that you will become a great AI engineer. Right? On day-to-day basis, I do my work in this thing only, apart from research. So this is the thing. This is the roadmap. I hope you guys have understood, at least got some value from this session, right? Uh, Again, we'll come back to our build Sunday, sorry, and we'll build amazing complex applications. So let me stop my screen share. If you have any questions related to like what is this Jabir, how we can build and all that, you can comment down anytime. I'll be more than happy to reply you guys. But this is the thing. And let me tell you this, the fear we have, right, in current market is very valid, right? Because AI is capable of doing the software work that a team of 10 people can do, right? And what will happen to this 10 people? I would say that the thing is very simple, right? You need to upgrade your knowledge. You need to learn how you can use this models, you can leverage the capabilities of this model to build something beautiful, to build something valuable. Once you understand the core like power of AI, you will become unstoppable, right? You like, let me tell you this honestly, that I know Java, I know web development, app development and all that. There are many things which I don't know, but using AI I am able to build those stuff, right? Using the power of AI, the capabilities of AI, I'm in a stage where I can build anything which I can imagine. Now just think about the power that I have in my hand. So it is really important to understand what is going on in the backend. Right? It is really important that for a given problem statement, you should understand the core, the crux of that problem. Like the flaw which I find in AI is that, okay, AI has the capability of building anything, right? It can build anything that you give in terms of talking purely about software point of view. But as a human, you have the power of deciding which is good, which is not. You know exactly that, okay, if it is going in this path, then it's going to hallucinate, so you will prevent that. So as a AI engineer, this is your job, right? And as a, like when I say AI engineer, the AI engineers are the people who guide AI in building enterprise application, who knows exactly that what it takes to build a efficient AI engine, like AI application, enterprise application, that this LLM models will not know, because without human intervention, without the proper oversight of humans, I don't think so this model are any more like capable, right? Then they have the power, but you have the instruction, you have the power of guiding it. So this is it, right? This is the era of AI, and we should leverage the power of it. Okay, and again, like I'll end my session. I don't want to take much of your time, but thank you everyone, thank you for listening. And I would suggest you just one thing as well, that if you're really passionate about AI research, follow the series of Web Sunday, because it will help you a lot. And if you want to know the roadmap of that as well, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to build a AI research roadmap as well. So thank you everyone, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.